All right, g'day, welcome. Welcome to Angus Barrett. I'm Angus Barrett. This is Angus Barrett swag, bloody good swag. I'd go as close to say that that's the world's best swag. If you want a swag, if you want a tent, it's not a tent. Anyway, don't get carried away with the swag, Angus. And this is an Angus Barrett ringer's belt. I'd go to say, well, I don't know if it is, folks. You guys have got to rate it, but what I intend to make is the world's best ringer's belt. And so I use very particular leather to do that. And I use very particular leather to make the swag straps to go on the swag. And this swag I took for a run the other day, and we quite often have this white stuff come out of the leather. Anyway, this is a black strap. All right, I took it to Dubbo, and it came back half white. So what I got here is a strap that's heated up on the back of the ute. We've gone out of orange. It's gone from 7 degrees to maybe 14 degrees, so it's doubled its temperature in Dubbo the other day. And anyway, this white stuff's come out of the leather, and I'm trying to determine what it is, and I've done a little video because I'm going to Germany next month, or whenever in a little bit, and I'm going to see old mate who makes this leather for me, which is very exciting. I like visiting the tanneries, and I like to know all the people. Anyway, I'm going to take a bit of this over, and I'll probably show him this video. I'm sure he'll understand clearly my very well-spoken English, and then we're going to determine what this white stuff is. There's not much in there because we just put the heat gun on it. Anyway, this stuff here has come out of the cold. This piece of leather's never been in the sun. Sun's not actually that good for leather, folks. We used to, as kids, get told to sit our saddles in the sun and rub the grease in. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd sit your grease in the sun to warm your grease up so it's easy to go in. There's nothing wrong with warming your leather, right? But I'd use a warm room or something like that to warm your leather, and that'll open the pores naturally. And then, but sun, you can burn leather with sun. And I've in the States, actually, I come across an Amish mob that went and did some leather work with them. I don't know how long ago now. And they actually take their leather, their natural coloured leather, and they sit it out in the sun and they sunburn it, which changes the colour of it, and they bring it back in. And sometimes in here, in the big top in the tent that lets a little bit of light in, you can see where one piece of leather's overlaid another piece of leather for so long, and you can see that you'll get a shading in here. Here's white stuff in this leather too, folks. Now this is a good way of showing it too, because this is a fat and a tannins. I don't know what it is, folks. I don't run the tannery, but it's like the stuff they put on the leather when they make it. And this is the finish. This is an English leather. This is the one we're making the wallet out of. Excuse me. This is the one we're making the wallet out of. But we've got this in here, and I've got this coming out with heat. I'm jumping around a bit, but I'll pull it in. And this belt here's got the white stuff in it. And as you can see, get right in here where the stitch has gone down. It's like it's sort of coming out there around the stitching. All right. So what I reckon with this leather is that, and it's not just coming out there where the stitching is. This one's obviously been wiped a little bit, but you can wipe it off, and it's sticky, right? And so there's waxes and fats and grease. I don't know what it's called. Like I said, I'm going to find out a lot more, folks. I'll come back with everything that I've learned on my little trip. They're in the leather, right? When they make the leather, it all goes in there, and it's going in and out and in and out. Both these leather, this is a re-tan. So both these leathers are chromium tanned, and then this leather, the ringer's belt's made out of, is a veg re-tan. So right down the centre here, if I really rub the edge of this leather up, you'll see a little line, right? That's the original chrome leather, which is right. And then over the top of it, or a second tan, they've done a veg re-tan. We're going to find out more about that too, because this guy makes my very heavy, hard, strong leather. Makes my hobbles, my swag strap, my ringer's belt. This is an English leather I did. I haven't asked the Poms to make me anything strong, right? But I got the Germans too. And then we bring it over here and we use Angus Barrett to make it really strong, put it all together. But we need the raw material. And I'm chasing what this white stuff is. Anyway, I went to Dubbo the other day with a black strap, come back with a half white one. And now I want to work out how come. And the sun brought this out. This is my point. The sun brought this out. And the cold has brought this one out. And this one here, which is just beside me because I'm cutting wallets, this one here is a finish that's put on. Like it's a layer. This leather's been here for quite some time. Right, so I'm going to add a bit of heat. We started at whatever cold. And we're going to see the change here. Right, so this one I know exactly what happens because I've done it. I just heat it up a little bit. And so I heat the waxes up. Well, that's what I think they are. I believe they are. I could bring this more up very quickly and there we go. Right, so that's gone in. It's soft. It's I can feel it on the fingers. It's not cold, obviously. It's not burning hot, but it's clearly a wax. Like I don't know, like a Karuba wax, or I don't know if they've got any bees in England. Maybe they do. Maybe it's beeswax. Right, then this leather here, that one's always on there. That's how we buy the leather. It comes like that. You can see those big pieces, right? So it's on top. I believe it's a protective coater. It's the only leather I get from this tannery. I haven't talked to them too much about it. I have talked about the leather, but not that detail, right? This leather here, this is the one that's been in the workshop. This is a bit noisy, that blower. This is a veg re-tan chrome leather. Right, so this is super strong, and the veg re-tan, I asked them to do that because I want that natural finish, and not the finish, the vegetable part, the vegetable part that I get from the tanning, the bit that I get from the veg tanning, the patina that I get from the leather, and the way the leather goes is different to a chrome tan leather. The chrome tan leather is kind of like soulless. I find it anyway, you know, but it's bloody strong. You know, that's why we make very thin leather out of it. So if you look over here we go, we've got lots of leather. You shouldn't start me on leather, right? So if you look over here, this is a chrome tan leather. It doesn't have a white stripe in it, but that's because it's dyed through. But I know this is chrome tan, right? And this leather here is very, 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 very strong. This leather here we make our zipper panels out of for our weekender bags. It's a very, very strong leather. Like, it doesn't tear, right? You need good leather not to tear too, but it's got to be tanned right, and you've got to use the right tans. Whereas when you get a veg tan that thin, it tends to tear a little bit. This is the veg tan, right? So this here will give you a different patina to that, even though this is actual thinner, right? But this is a very particular leather, but it's like, I'm not very good at explaining it because I don't know the process completely. But this is an English pit tan. This is an English veg tanned in a pit. Right, that's tanned in a drum. So it's going in a drum, thrashing round. This one's tanning's done in pit over time. Same with like the Herman Oak, you know, the harness leather. This here is a chromium tan. It would have been, I don't know, I haven't been to see old mate, but I'm going to see him here. I'd say he does a bit of both, drums and pits. Don't know, we're going to find out. The drum is where it gets rolled around in the fluid, which is where usually like the upholstery leather, the thinner leather comes out of it. Our heavy leather comes out of pits because we don't want it getting smashed up and all the fibres getting flexed and bent. Imagine if all these little fibres like that. Anyway, crikey, I'm getting into the leather now, folks. All I want to see is this white stuff would come out. Right, hopefully this is helpful, understands what we do. So I'm heating this up now, and this is the leather that, and you can feel it on your thumb. It's going very, it's greasy. Beautiful. Right, so what I reckon that is the cold, the leather's contracted in the cold, and the fats that go in there through the tanning process coming out. Oh, that's right. This is what happens with good leather. It gets better with age. This is like one of these. We should send these out, not clean, Kirsty, and then people can, like, they can, you know, watch their belt come to life. And this is what I'm saying is the Veg Tan product, and it's going to come to life. And because it's Veg Tan, it's a Veg Retan, so it is chromium based, giving me the strength. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to achieve. And then I said, oh mate, let's give it a chrome tan, a Veg Retan. Whew, over the top. It's a lot for a little mine, so even if it is under this hood. A Veg Retan over the top to try and get its patina. And you can see that I can see anyway, that leather is going to carry the marks and the scars and the future of where it's been, and tell all the stories and the creek crossings that it's gone across, and the horses that it's dragged out of the round yard, and the weaners it's tied up, and all the other things a ringer's belt's made for. The yards that they tied it up to before, they don't recommend tying panels up with your belts, folks. They do break. Anyway, this is the pure chrome. This is the toughest leather I've got in the workshop. It's proper tough. It's like really crude. It's that tough. It's like cold steel. Not quite that tough, but it's pretty tough. It's like, you know how tough it is, folks? I'll tell you how tough it is. It's as tough as Australia. That's how tough it is. Even though it was made in Germany, all right? And it's got this white stuff in it, and I make my swag straps out of it because I want my swags to go for 20 or 30 years. I want you to have holes and worn this thing out and you still can't part with it, but I still want my straps going. And this stuff came out in the heat. So I'm thinking the sun's expanded the leather and maybe brought the waxes to the top. So if you get this on your swag, you can see where my rope was tied over it in the shade, you know. And here's the bit that was out of the sun. And it was just sitting like that on the ute. I had one rope going across there, made some brand new swag. I spoiled myself this year. I've been saving up for 5 years for an Angus Barrett swag. Like you can see it, so it's running. Can you see it? It's like a liquid. Beautiful, you can see it on your hand. It's on my finger now. So it's wax. It's the good stuff in the leather, folks. This is how much goodness is in this leather. It's coming out. I've got that much of it. It's coming out. And everyone's rubbing it now. That there's what's going to make. Let me turn this thing off, Jim. And then it cools down. It's like wax. It is wax, I reckon. But I'm going to Germany, folks. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do you a little story about it. And hey, yell out if you need any information, or if you want to know anything, or if you've got any feedback or any photos, or if anyone else wants to get involved in this project, come on board and we'll sort it out, all right? And we'll make this leather better than it's ever been, so it's tougher than Australia. Stay cool, folks. Have a good day.